subjective? Do you believe in absolute truth?
Sure.
Okay, so if you believe in absolute truth, shouldn't we have absolute terms of what a infant-bearing or infant-birthing person is, otherwise known as a woman?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this a different way, I suppose. So if anyone can identify anything at any time, correct?
Anyone can identify
As a woman or a man, you can just choose at any time, right?
Gender? Well,
sure.
Gender identity isn't switching genders all the time. It just depends,
But that's your position, right? That's fair to say? That you could change your gender?
My position is that you should accept people's gender identity, and you shouldn't try to shame them out of it.
So let me ask you, should we accept people that think they're younger than they actually are?
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Elario, and today I'm back with a new video I want to check out with you guys. This is called Charlie Kirk debates college students at UC Boulder. Full video Q&A. Okay, guys, now we'll talk less and we react more. Let's check this out.
Charlie, I was told to keep it short, so I will. So you touched on LGBTQ rights a lot. You've talked about, trans bathrooms, you getting banned from Twitter, very, awful. But I'm wondering if I can get a straight answer, yes or no. Do you think the acceptance of queer people in society is a good thing?
Well, define acceptance and define queer, because when I grew up, that was like a slander. So I don't know, that's like a thing now.
Queer being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and what was the other word you asked me to define?
What do you mean acceptance? What do you mean?
Acceptance being that, society, accepts that, doesn't try to change that, doesn't try to say that it's not a social, it's not a good thing for you to be gay, it's not a good thing for you to be trans, and in our institutions also just offering them resources to, just come to terms with their sexuality, not feel bad about it. Basically, by acceptance, I generally mean society shouldn't make people feel bad about who they are. So, do you agree with that?
No. I mean, we should feel bad about all sorts of things. So, I mean, yeah, happy to get the mic back up. But, I mean, I'll just ask you a very simple question, and this will tell, what is a woman?
A woman is someone who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So, do you think the definition of someone able to become pregnant would be a woman?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So if someone can become pregnant, would that person be defined as a woman?
Depends on if they identify as a woman.
Right. So, okay, we're now getting to the root of the issue.
Okay.
So do you believe that truth is objective or subjective? Do you believe in absolute truth?
Sure.
Okay, so if you believe in absolute truth, shouldn't we have absolute terms of what a infant-bearing or infant-birthing person is, otherwise known as a woman?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this a different way, I suppose. So if anyone can identify anything at any time, correct?
Anyone can identify
as a woman or a man, you can just choose at any time, right?
Gender? Well,
sure.
Gender identity isn't switching genders all the time. It just depends,
But that's your position, right? That's fair to say? That you could change your gender?
My position is that you should accept people's gender identity, and you shouldn't try to shame them out of it.
So let me ask you, should we accept people that think they're younger than they actually are? Because that's a mental condition where people say, I identify as an 8-year-old, but they're really 50. Should we accept someone be able to say they're younger?
No, but I think that's a very false equivalence.
Why is it a false equivalence?
Why?
Because there's scientific research supporting that gender identity is something that is, there's scientific research that supports people and says that if you identify as a certain gender, then that is, your gender. There's this paper on Scientific American that I found very interesting that said, it has to do with, your brain formation in the womb, where gender identity forms, but it's different from sex. That's very different from a disorder where you say, I'm not actually my age, because...
Well, hold on. You just agreed with me. You said it's a brain formation issue. It's a brain
I didn't say it was a disorder.
Well, so you don't think transgenderism is a disorder?
No.
Brain formation issue is a disorder.
Gender dysphoria is when you're very uncomfortable with your own body, and that usually relates to gender, and that can usually be treated if you choose a transition to...
Right, so it's a mental condition, right?
Gender dysphoria is, but transgenderism is not.
What's the difference?
The difference between gender dysphoria and transgenderism? Yes. Being transgender means that you don't identify with the gender you're born with. Gender dysphoria means you're uncomfortable with your body. So they're two different things.
No, you cannot be
exactly
quote-unquote transgender without suffering from gender dysphoria. So let me ask you one more question. So you believe that we can dictate pronouns. Can I choose my adjectives? Can I decide to be like super rich? Or like, can someone like, can I decide to be small? Like, is there anything objective that we have to actually admit? Or can you just change anything at any time?
I think people should have the right to determine their pronouns. And I don't think...
No, how about adjectives?
I don't think people actually do that, so I don't know why that's something you're...
Well, of course, like if someone says, I declare I'm rich, is no longer than saying I'm declare I'm a man. Your chromosomes aren't that way. You don't get to choose what your reality is, do you?
Gender identity is reality.
Okay, so anyone could be anything. Let me ask, how about species reality? Can I change my species?
No.
Why?
Not.
There's people that identify as cats and dogs all the time. It's a serious mental condition. It is. It's treated all the time. Tens of thousands of cases every single year. So basically, if you believe in absolute truth, which you say you do, why wouldn't you believe in absolute truth when it comes to chromosomal structure?
Because gender and chromosomal sex are two different things.
That's right, according to your opinion. Got it. So, but now, now you want to impose that opinion on the rest of society, right? You can have whatever opinion you want. Here's our position. That opinion should now not apply to all of a sudden saying that men and women's sports should be conflated. Final question. Did you find a moral problem with the University of Pennsylvania swimmer changing from a man to a woman and winning the NCAA championship, defeating other women?
Well, I'm not familiar, but I'm pretty sure that the NCAA has some rules that makes it so people who transition have, like, you know, kind of a competitive, fair thing. So I haven't done much research into those rules, but
yeah, okay.
usually
So
they make
let me
it
catch
so...
you up to speed. 462nd best male swimmer, best female swimmer, NCAA champion. Do you see a problem with that?
Are you suggesting that she transitioned to a woman to get better at swimming?
Of course. And we shouldn't allow that to happen.
Why would you transition yourself just to become better at a sport? Who does
because
that?
You're a narcissist. That's why. Because it's like saying, why would anyone steal anything? Why would anyone cut in line? People do bad things. It's not up to us as society to accommodate the rules for your impulses to go do bad things. Last question. Do you think there's differences between men and women?
Was this the actual last question?
Yeah, last. I'm just kidding. I'm curious. I'm curious because I can't believe you're paying for this. It's like so interesting.
Well, there are actual differences between men and women, yes, in terms of, you know, chromosomes, as you mentioned. So, yeah, sure.
Okay, so therefore we agree that men and women have differences. We should define society around those differences. And one of those differences is that women they have lower testosterone levels, and they could be easily exploited by men, which is what happens far too often, and it's incumbent on men who have higher testosterone levels, who are physically stronger, to protect women against the exploitation of men who think they are women. That's a moral question and a moral claim. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
That twist was nice. That twist was nice. That twist was nice. I'm just going to start from there. He said, what's the difference between a man and a woman? A woman is someone who has lower testosterone levels and can be easily manipulated by men. And a man is someone who has higher testosterone levels, physically stronger, and is meant to protect those women from other men who want to identify as women. I mean, that twist was superb. Okay, down to the whole video. This young man actually seems to be, what's the word, trying to grasp the whole idea of what he's trying to present. He's not quite rooted in it. As such, his views or his standpoints are not as rigid as some others I have seen. He seems kind of confused, like he's actually wanting desperately to be so right. I mean, he just wants to accept it. From the first thing he said, should transgenderism should be accepted socially. Well, you don't have to force your beliefs on someone else. Everyone has what they stand for. Everyone has what they believe in. And because you feel it's right, doesn't mean Mr. B doesn't feel it's wrong. I mean, it's written in the Bible. If your neighbor eating meat makes him feel guilty, then when he's around you, try not to eat it so that you don't tempt him into committing a sin. Because you're so comfortable with the concept of transgenderism doesn't mean you should force it on other people. And truly, it's a mental condition. I mean, from the way Charlie stated, gender dysphoria, I've actually looked it up, is when you're not comfortable with your gender, not even your body, your gender. It's a mental condition. It's in the mind. You want to act like the opposite sex. You identify more with the opposite sex. It's a mental condition. And said a possible cure is transgenderism. But then I've seen that most transgenders actually commit suicide yearly. I mean, Charlie has mentioned this in a recent clip. He said they commit suicide yearly because at the end, they can't fully get what they wanted, Because internally, a man transgendering to a woman, internally, he's still a man. He still has the testosterone. He still has the XY chromosomes. He still has the internal features of a male. So they can't function fully and properly as a female. And according to Charlie and research, this often depresses them more. It depresses them more. So I don't feel that should be a cure for it. I mean, gender dysphoria should be treated as a psychiatric condition that it is. They should be talked to, worked on, made to see life from a whole different angle, not from the way they see it. Because gender dysphoria as a whole causes acute depression. And then when you move over to the supposed cure and you're just not getting what you want, coupled with the criticism by some others, you might never really get there, And on this point, I think I should just chip in this. I mean, the society, I won't say should be more lenient with these guys. That's the LGBTQ. I'm not saying they should be very lenient with them, but at times criticism and frontal onslaught doesn't help matters. It doesn't make them want to change. It just makes them withdraw into what they feel they are, So I believe rather than actively criticizing them, insulting them, making them segregated and all that, I believe they should be drawn closer, talked to, reasoned with, given reasons why this is wrong. And maybe from there, we might start seeing a huge turnout, because criticism never works anytime. It never changes anyone. When you just outrightly judge a person, it never changes anyone. So I believe they should be given a listening ear, They should have someone to talk to. You get. And Charlie here mentioned, or rather asked the question. He said, who is a woman? I mean, he has asked this question countless times, and this set of people give this particular answer to just derail from the truth. They say a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. That's not true. He also mentioned that majority of people identify with cats and dogs. He said, should these people then be called cats and dogs? And the guy said no. He said, fine, that some other people identify themselves as being younger than they actually are. This also is a mental condition. Should they be identified as such? And he said no. He said, so if you believe in absolute truth, then why do you fight for this one thing and this other two that are in like comparison with it, you don't accept it? Being identified or identifying oneself as an animal is an acute mental condition. And if there's a reasonable remedy for that, I believe gender dysphoria should have a better cure, if I'm to put it that way. It should have a better aspect of correction, a better prospect of correction rather, and not transgenderism. It really doesn't help that much from studies that I've seen and Charlie has stated. Guys, I'm pretty sure we learned a lot from this video. I'd like you to leave your comments in the comment section. And also leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. Thank you all for watching and stay safe.